Little Sunday morning log grabbing. That's a big one. This is going to be fun. T870 to the rescue. Look at that freaking oak right there. That right there is about 22, 23 feet long. We just had to snake around. I had to help him with the 870 to get it on the trailer, and now we got to get some stuff out of our way. It's down in there. Then I'm probably going to go loading. I don't know if you see that pile back there. I'll drag some of them out with the Bobcat and load up my trailer. Well, we made it back. I think I ended up with the big load. Actually, the one oak that he has on probably weighs as much as 3 of these pines. I got the truck backed all the way in and over enough so we can use the Bobcat to help get that big oak off there. It's a monster. My Bobcat will pick it up though. We'll do that later. Oh, Danny and Kate came out.
Oh, that's awesome.
All right, I'm actually going to put this on hyperlapse and let you guys watch.
It's easier to get out now. What?
Hey, welcome back Sawmill, everybody. My name's Bill. It's Pirate Solutions Forestry. Happy Sunday morning. Man, what a debacle. I get the text message first thing this morning that Ralph was sending this guy over to a local tree farm, Dale Tree Farm. Mr. Dale wanted to get rid of a bunch of white pine. There's some spruce and hair oak logs that he had saved for milling once upon a time. He had a wood miser. He doesn't mill anymore. And they needed the room at the tree farm. They were taking up a space, so he wanted to move. So he had contacted Ralph to come get him. And Ralph would normally bring them to me, but Ralph has been very busy. So Ralph asked me to hook up to my trailer and go over and get a bunch of them. They've got Bobcats and stuff like that over there to be able to use to do that. And we had the water department out here, shut the road down this week. I couldn't get my trailer out. I went over in the rain to try to look at where they were and see how it was going to be, and left a card for Mr. Dale, and he never got back to me. And then Ralph texted me this morning. They were all coming out of there today. I called in a guy to go over and get them with the log truck. So I jumped in, hooked up and said, well, I'll go take a load off his hands. That just means that instead of being there all day and having to make 3 runs at it, he is only going to have to make 2 runs at it. And it was a good thing I was there, because he would have never got this big oak up on the log trailer, and it would have been in his way to do the rest of everything else. So that would have been a problem. He would not have been able to do anything without getting that oak out of there. It was out front, it was sideways, it blocked the whole lot where the wood was. So I go to hook up to my trail this morning, big yellow jacket's nest right up in my tongue. I'll show you in a second. So I had to run to the hardware store, only one that's open around here, grab some, let's call it wasp killer, because if I call it bee killer, people get mad at me. Wasp killer, yellow jacket killer. Sprayed it, got hooked up, got over there. It's all tight quarters. I think there's some video of that area. I'm not sure whether I did it, which orientation I did it in, so I don't know whether it will make the cut or not, but I'll make sure it does. When we had to get turned around, they had trailers blocking roads, kind of like the weekend setup where they got everything parked and disabled so you can't get back into their lot. And we had to kind of navigate our way through that. 2 big trucks, big long trailers. And we finally got back there. I helped him with the Bobcat get the big oak on, and we got him loaded up out of the way. And then I loaded my trailer with the Bobcat. Went to pull out. I was light in the front end. I was actually, when I hit my brakes, my wheels were dragging. So then we had to go get the Bobcat, bring it back up front, shove my load that was already chained down with those. I hate those binders like this. And we got it all shoved back to where I could drive, got back here. I got back first so I could get out of his way. In he came, and you guys saw a hyperlapse and some video of taking off the big oak log and him getting unloaded, and then us unloading the trailer. And I bent the crap out of my forks. I'll show you that too. So it's been a hell of a morning, but let me show you what do we call yellow jackets? Should we just call them yellow jackets? I hate to say bees and somebody will get mad. Oh my God, don't kill the bees. No, yellow jackets. I'll show you the yellow jackets. I'll show you the bent up Bobcat. So that was a brand new hive loaded with them. They were flying all, actually, they were gone when I went to the tree farm, obviously, but when I got back, they all started coming back. So they must have been like waiting for me. Look at that one trying to go in right now. So that was one part. And then if you look at the Bobcat, I finally made this side match that side. I was trying to pull that big long over 20 feet, that white pine off, was stuck on my ramp, and I had to pick it up over it. And when I twisted to throw it off, it crumpled that thing down. There was actually a brace in there too. It still crumpled it. So that's a little bit of war wounds. You see what we got in the first load here. Mostly white pines. There is some sort of red oak back there. There is a couple of, I think there's a tupelo tree in here, and I think there's some poplar in here, and those are 2 different things. It's not a tulip poplar. Not sure on this one. I think it's a poplar, maybe even a tulip poplar. A monster, massive oak. I'm hoping my machine will pick that up. Then there is one down in here. I think it's tupelo. And then a couple more white pines. There's a spruce right here. He was going to take that. He wasn't even going to leave it. It's a piece of junk, really. Might be able to get something out of it. There's red oak back there. Really big white pine here. So pretty good little haul for our first trip. And of course, I have my brand new pile of white pine right here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start shuttling these out of here out back to make room for him for when he comes back to get rid of the rest of his loads. So these are all older logs, and they'd need to get cut fairly soon, much before those brand new ones right there. These definitely are older, but we got some more oak, which is good because we're getting oak deficient. Hopefully Lawrence Lynch will give me another trailer deck to do. That'd be nice. And yeah, I'm gonna just start humping these out back. I would leave it on hyperlapse, maybe I will, and we'll start trucking them out of here. Fast load. Brad unloading it on the Medevac. Brad has already apologized because he doesn't run the Medevac very much, so he's done a hell of a job. He got back here really fast with this load. We have a mystery log on here. Actually, I think it might be a walnut. I'll show it to you. I think it might be a walnut. I'll show it to you later. That's exactly what I think it is. I think it's a walnut. Hey, you know what that is? That's a walnut. Walnut? I think that's a walnut. Mark makes sense. In that one. A lot of 2x4s in that log. Thing will handle some heavy stuff. you back in a minute. Well, that was a hectic Sunday morning. Hope you guys get to sit around and drink coffee this morning, because I didn't. Last load's here. We got one gem in this thing. We were both looking at it and saying, I spotted it and I said, what the heck is that? Didn't really know what kind of log it was based on this end of it, but it's a nice black walnut. And I'll show that to you. Bunch of white pine, some spruce. And I'm trucking these out back and stacking them and leaving some by the sawmill to get cut right away. And let's check out this black walnut, because this is the diamond of this entire order. Kind of makes the whole thing worthwhile. Nice white pines too and spruce. Good size. They're all nice and straight. They're all good saw logs. I think there's some metal in that one though, because I saw something hanging off the other side of it. But nice black walnut right here. Nice and straight, probably 12 feet long, good size. It's a nice log. It's got a fairly, about a 1-inch sapling on it. If I get a better view from this side, you see it better that it's black walnut. And we were kind of looking at the bark, and he was saying, oh, I think that's an oak. I said, no, that's not an oak. Oh, maybe it's a tupelo. It's not tupelo. That actually is a toss-up right now between ash. It's got ashy bark, but I've never seen a spindly ash like this. I don't know if you look how well you can see, how you probably can't see on the camera how spindly it is. It's curvy and stuff. You don't see many ash that are curvy, but it's definitely got ash borers in the middle of it. So I think that's an ash. At first I thought it was a tupelo, which is not a tulip poplar. It's a tupelo. It's a different tree. At that spruce in the middle there. So this white pine right here is garbage. Pretty much just firewood. Another good oak log out here. That would be a scarlet oak, or what some would call a red oak. That's a nice straight long log. So I'm gonna get all these put away and call it a day here. Some of these I'm gonna keep down and cut into 2x4. Some of the big ones I'm gonna probably keep aside for slabs for Thatcher Smith. This will probably, I'll keep down the bottom for cutting 2x4s out of it. I'll probably keep that one for slabs for now. Probably that big one under it for slabs for now. And then we got a monster oak down here. And actually, I'll probably video that when I go to pick it up. See if I can pick that up. That's a monster. And Medivic would not pick it up. You saw I had to help him to get it off the trailer. When I go to pick that up, we'll video that. So for now, we'll be back. All right, so let's see if it'll pick it up. It's oak, it's 25 feet long. Getting here for scale, it's pretty good size. Bottom of the log here, this is a heavy one. The Medivic wouldn't even come close to picking it up. We're gonna have to try to get in under it, try and find the center of gravity, and let's see if we can get it picked up with the T650. no problem. It's just a big honking log. I had to kind of get underneath it at first. So I kind of had to wiggle it around so I could get underneath it, but it has no problem picking it up. See what that looks like on the Bobcat. That is a big oak log right there. I don't think I can get that all the way out back. I'm gonna have to try, but I'll be back with you guys to finish up in a few minutes. Well, that was a long ass Sunday. It's about 2 o'clock now. I got everything cleaned up, out back, sorted, put where it makes sense, started some new piles. I had to redo some of my piles because I went through most of my oak and I left some exits for Danny back there to where he can get out of the log yard into the woods, and then he can go for miles and miles and miles. So he likes to climb on the piles, but he typically won't go over the piles. So I filled in all my holes, hopefully got him corralled into this part of the yard because he did go out the other morning. You guys missed it. I had a customer come over yesterday with a big, it was a dual cookie. He thought it was maple. I think it was elm. It was very dry. He'd been drying it for years and years and years with the hope someday of making it into a coffee table. And it was like 4 feet long, about this big around on both sides, cookie cut with a thin middle. And he wanted it sawn flat and down to about 1.5 inches thick. So while I was doing that for him, Danny made his way off into the woods out there and didn't come back. And I'm yelling and yelling and yelling. And then I was down trying to get the guy loaded up and get him out of here. And he's like, oh, there he is. And Danny come trotting down the hill. So got to kind of close in the backyard again. Looks like I got it done pretty well and pretty high. We got some nice yield out of that run this morning. Good variety of logs. That obviously that black walnut, we got a lot of oak, which is nice because I was really down to some beautiful logs, but really the bottom of my oak pile. And now I've got a pretty good sized pile. You saw that the 650 could pick up that monster 25 footer. Now I couldn't take, I said something where I said, I don't think I can get this out back. Not because the 650 can't pick it up. I lifted it, I traveled around with it because it's so long it won't fit through some of my passages here with the hills and log piles and stuff like that. So I had to travel with it pretty high up. It carried it around no problem. I ended up having to put it in my middle pile, and that, if you've watched me for a while, you know I call that middle pile my pile for logs that are too long to fit between that black oak and that white oak up there. It's about 16 foot between those two trees. So 16 footers I can get through there. I can even get a 20 footer through there if I kind of snake around one at an angle and then go through, but that's kind of tough. 18 footers will go through, but this log wasn't even close. I snaked it around the tree and the other side was sticking past the other tree like this far, and obviously it was pretty heavy. So I put it in my middle intermediate pile. Everything else got sorted. Black walnut with the black walnut. I put my ash on top of, it's the only ash. I have one other ash on this property and I don't know where it is. Oh, it's standing. Sorry. I have a standing ash, small one. But it's the only ash I have. I put it back there with the maple. I started a new 10-foot big pine log pile where I left a hole where my oak was. That's all filled in. Got all my oak filled in. Took my spindly logs that I think are going to be firewood and threw them in with the spindly logs that are probably going to be firewood. And I got some logs out here for milling starting tomorrow. I got some white pines out here. And I've got a big long pitch pine in the cradle on the log lift on the mill. So I'm all ready to fire it up tomorrow. Also put the big, huge, long pine that we took in today out here. It's got to be cut down. That wouldn't fit through the trees. And I think I'm just going to hack it in half and mill it up. Okay. All right, I'm coming. Sorry about that. I had a customer come by. He's got some, what he says are monster pears, pear tree chunks that he needs cut up so that he has a turner that's going to make them into bowls for him. But I guess the guy can't process the wood, so he's going to bring them back in about 20 minutes, and we're going to see what he's got. Hell of a Sunday here. Anyway, I hope I'm gonna try to make sense of all this video and try to get as many of the clips up as I can. Probably call it something like Loggin Sunday or something like that, and hopefully you guys enjoy watching some of the stuff. I love tearing up that carriage on that Bobcat. Gonna have to unbend and weld that up this week sometime, if one of the days, not sure when. I would like to get some milling done tomorrow, and I got some cleanup to do. And now we got white pine. You guys remember back, I don't know, maybe it was a month and a half ago, maybe, I was like out of white pine. All I had was pitch pine lying around. And now in the last month, I've gotten in more white pine than I've ever seen in my life. I've got miles and miles of white pine. I have like no pitch pine coming in. Everything that I've gotten in the last like month has been big, straight, perfect white pine. So we're pretty stocked up. Be able to do some real nice construction lumber and stuff out of it. I think at this point, I know that I've got to do the wife's outdoor shower, but I think it makes sense to bang a shed together and stick it out front with like $5 grand on it. Maybe something about this size, just because I have so much white pine. It'd be perfect for that. I mean, I've got enough white pine to last me for customer orders for 2 years. I've got enough white pine here, just if I'm waiting on customer orders, to last me for 2 years. So I need to start making it into stuff. I think I would like to start doing, maybe bang together a shed maybe every 2 months. And I was adverse to doing it because I was kind of worried about delivery. I was kind of trying to figure out how I was going to do delivery. Now my T650 will pick the shed up. That's not the problem. The problem is when I get to somebody's house, if they want it out back through their nice, beautiful yard, that becomes a problem. I'd have to be laying out plywood, and I'd have to run the machine over there. It'd be hard. It would be hard for me because I couldn't take them both on the trailer at the same time, and I would need the machine to unload it. So if it was somebody really local, maybe I could drive the machine there and leave it at their house and come back after I loaded it up and go take the trailer down there and unload it. But somebody said to me something that was absolute genius. There are shed moving companies around here that just specialize in moving sheds, and they're not super expensive. They'll probably do it for like $400. So what I could do is sell the sheds, have either the customer contact them and they can come pick it up and move it to the customer's house, or if the customer's just doesn't want to do that, then they could pay me to do that and contact the shed moving company, put the shed together. I can load it on their trailer for them, and the way they go, and they can go put it in however they do it, and they are all set up and know what they're doing. And so that could be a thing. So I think I would like to maybe put a shed together every couple of months. It would be really good revenue. And if I put a shed like this out front with the metal roof and, the extending beam for the turnbuckles and everything else, I think I'd sell them as fast as I can make them. I think, everybody would want one in their backyard for storage of their garden tractors and stuff like that. So I think that's on the agenda, and with all this white pine, would make a lot of sense. So that's what I'm thinking. Thanks for coming along on a Sunday. Like, share, subscribe. Make sure you hit the little notifications bell so you know when we put up a video. I don't know when this video is going to come out. Maybe tonight, if I can get this guy taken care of and get in and start editing it. I haven't even eaten today, so it's after 2 o'clock. So I'll start video editing the video. I'll start editing the video, and I'll get it up as quick as I can. And you guys let me know what you think. It's just running around like a chicken with my head cut off. But anyway, we always appreciate the watch, and it's Pirate Solutions out.